not an egregiously bad player to have a top 10. Like she was one of the best passers ever. And she was one of unbelievable. Like if you look at her highlight tapes, they're crazy. But like hard. Really, really hard to argue. So this year. But yeah, 2 I think is fine. 2 is fine because my guess is that numero uno is Bird. Cool. All-time assist lead, averaging 5.6 assists and 2.4 turnovers per game.
USA Today's top 10 all-time WNBA point guards list kicks off with Dawn Staley at number 10, and this reaction doesn't hold back, calling her drastically overrated for this specific list, separating her legendary coaching career from her actual on-court resume. That's a spicy way to open a ranking debate, and it sets the tone for exactly how blunt the rest of this breakdown is going to be.
And I think stats-wise and impact, even in even in 70 games, I'd still put Caitlin Clark at Therese Weatherspoon. But I think you can make the argument Diggins above both. I don't know. I'm okay with that. I'm genuinely okay with that. So, yeah, number 5, Teacha Penicheiro.
Skylar Diggins at 9 gets a much warmer reception. One of the greatest players ever that did not win a ring, and there's real context here worth sitting with. She played in eras with as few as 10 teams in the league, when missing a title meant something different than it does heading into a 20-team league. That's a smart, historically grounded point about how championship scarcity has shifted over time.
Things now with Chelsea Gray, where it's like, you can see, if you look back at her old highlights when she was never fast, but she could run. She can't run anymore. But yeah, 2 I think is fine. 2 is fine because my guess is that numero uno is, it's Sue Bird. Sue Bird.
The characterization here that Diggins is on paid leave and has flat out refused to play is worth double checking. Real reporting this season actually points to a legitimate right knee injury from an October surgery, tangled up with real frustration over a benching decision and unclear communication from the coaching staff. It's a genuinely messy situation, but refuse to play oversimplifies what's actually a mix of injury recovery and real role conflict.
There's more talent than W. She's not going to spawn in Lauren Jackson. No offense, Aaliyah. But she's not spawning in Lauren Jackson. And she's in an era with Asia. She's not going to go in Sue Bird's rings or Chelsea's. I think she's going to be one of those ones where it's like peak for peak number 1, no question about it, when her career is done. I think she already might be peak for peak. Teresa Weatherspoon at 6. Really?
Becky Hammon at 8 gets an interesting justification. It's a weak position in general for the 1BA, which is a real, fair point about point guard depth historically in this league. Even for someone who, as noted here, never played for Team USA and built her international career with Russia instead.
So, that matters, but I'm okay with Caitlin Clark 7. I really am. She's going to break every single record. She's probably going to end her career at like there's more talent than W. She's not going to spawn in Lauren Jackson. No offense, Aaliyah. But she's not spawning in Lauren Jackson. And she's in an era with Asia. She's not going to go in Sue Bird.
And here's where this reaction gets genuinely interesting. I'm actually okay with Caitlin Clark at 7, acknowledging she's only played 2.5 seasons and 70 games, which is real verifiable context that makes a top 10 all-time placement this early in a career notably aggressive by any normal standard.
I find it very difficult. I find it very difficult to put her ahead of Skylar Diggins. Am I wrong in saying that? That I find it difficult to put her ahead of Skylar Diggins. And I get it, like someone who averages 5 or 6 and 5 for their career. It's not. Let's just say there's a massive gap between her and Lindsay Whalen. My guess is that it's Sloot, Lindsay Whalen, Chelsea Gray, Sue Bird is top 4. That would be my prediction. And for me,
But then the take gets even bolder. If we're talking regular season peak for peak, I think peak Caitlin Clark's #1. While acknowledging Chelsea Gray's playoff dominance and championship pedigree matters for the overall conversation. That's a genuinely nuanced distinction between peak performance and career completeness that a lot of ranking debates skip right past.
so yeah, number 5, Ticha Penicheiro. Ticha Penicheiro was good. Like, she was one of the best passers ever. And she was one of those, like, flaw passers. She was somebody that was, like, she was somebody that, like, her flair was just kind of unbelievable. Like, if you look at her highlight tapes, they're crazy. But, like, she averaged 6.1 points per game for her career.
Teresa Weatherspoon at 6 gets real pushback. I really don't know. She belongs ahead of Clark, especially since she never won a title, and, in this reaction's view, should probably rank behind Candace Parker, even across a smaller sample of relevant seasons. That's a fair, stats-grounded disagreement with the original list.
Peak for peak. Yeah, like, as here, she's averaged 16 points and 5.3 assists in her career. She's currently on sabbatical from the Chicago Sky. She's on paid leave right now, because she's just flat out just refused to play by the looks of things. By the looks of things, yeah, it is.
Ticha Penicheiro at 5 draws the sharpest criticism in the whole video. Sure, she was one of the best passers ever, with legendarily flashy highlight tape, but a career 6.1 points per game average makes it very difficult to justify ranking her above Skylar Diggins. That's a completely fair statistical challenge to the original ranking.
Top 10 all time. Top 10 all time. Like, I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's gotten drastically overrated by the fact that, like, her great coaching career, but not egregiously bad. Not an egregiously bad player to have a top 10. Number 9, Skylar Diggins. Yeah, I'll give you Skylar Diggins.
And this is where the reaction lays out its own real counter ranking, predicting Vandersloot, Whalen, and Gray as a clear top 4, with a massive gap between them and everyone else, including Clark and Diggins at 5 or 6. That's a bold, specific prediction worth testing against however the rest of this list actually plays out.
Like, it's been a crazy decade, and kind of everything is going to change in this decade. But Skylar Diggins, peak for peak, yeah, like, as here, she's averaged 16 points and 5.3 assists in her career. She's currently on sabbatical from the Chicago Sky. She's on paid leave right now, because she's just flat out.
The Vandersloot assist record breakdown here is legitimately sharp. Her famous double-digit assist season was actually 9.94, rounded up to the reported 10, and this reaction argues the real single-season assist record should go to her 9.2 mark from a full season, rather than a shortened 12-game bubble sample where Clark once averaged 12. That's real nuance about what record actually means depending on sample size.
Just refused to play by the looks of things. By the looks of things, yeah, it is. I think, yeah, Diggins stats wise, you gotta put her, and her longevity, you gotta put her there. Becky Hammond at 8. Okay.
Chelsea Gray at 2 draws a genuinely fair, balanced take. 4 championships, one of the best shot makers the position has ever seen, but also an honest acknowledgement that she barely plays true point guard anymore and has lost a step athletically. Crediting her peak while being honest about her current role is exactly the kind of nuance good rankings debates need.
She's going to break every single record. She's probably going to end her career at like there's more talent in the W. She's not going to spawn in Lauren Jackson. No offense, Aaliyah. But she's not spawning in Lauren Jackson. And she's in an era with Asia. She's not going to go in Subaru's rings or Chelsea's. I think peak. She's going to be one of those ones where it's like peak for peak number one, no question about it, when her career is done. I think she already might be peak for peak.
And it closes with Sue Bird at number 1, the all-time assists leader, 13 All-Star selections, 9 All-Star starts, before pivoting into real speculation about where Paige Buchers ends up long-term, given she's currently playing off-ball next to Jessica Shepard. That's a legitimately interesting forward-looking question about how today's guards will eventually get ranked once their careers are further along.
Backup point guard when they won in 2024, but was still a pretty good backup point guard. She was starting until in game 2 of the finals when Febrish came in for her. Yeah, she didn't. Why are they rounding it up? She's the only person to average double-digit assists for a season. Like, it was 9.9 something. It was 9.94, and it's just rounded up to 10, I guess. I guess they want to round it up. And also, there were 12 games that season. I don't think it counts.